Hello class, I'm instructor Ashley Page. Welcome to public speaking. Now I know with this class I'm still setting everything up. You're probably still looking for everything. And I wanted to give you a little lecture, a little video of how to find everything in the class. The week one is just finding everything, figuring it out. And then I'll go through this PowerPoint and kind of share with you things through our syllabus, a little bit about me, that kind of thing. First, I'll go through the syllabus because that's something we have to cover. And then after that, I will give you a tour of the class and how to find everything that I'm talking about. Now, first, here's a little bit about me. In this photo, you'll be able to see here in the white sweatshirt, that was me. Before teaching, oh goodness, this is a long time ago now, about 10 years ago, I worked various jobs in the media field. This was one of them. This is me at KOAM News. This is when I was the morning news assistant. And there I worked and I did the midnight showing. So I worked from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. and I helped prepare all of the stories. And I did, the teleprompter, I did audio, I did cameras, I did a little bit of everything. From there, I also did sports broadcasting. I helped do a double replay for the Chiefs games. Go Chiefs! I've done documentaries, I've done stuff for TV. I did a television series that wasn't that good. Anyway, that's a little bit about my background. After I did that for a while, I decided I wanted to teach, and I taught for a while. This is now my 8th year, but first year at Fort Scott. This is me and my family. This is my husband, Marcus. He actually used to go to school here at Fort Scott Community College, and that's why I decided to teach here. And that is our little guy, Carter. He's 3 and a handful of crazy. Now, here are some things in how to, contact me, which this will be in your syllabus as well. That'll be in your class, which I'll show you in a moment of how to find everything. And here you can see my email, which you can reach out to me through that, or my extension. I may give out my cell phone later if you ever need me, because sometimes texting can be helpful. And also, if you're ever on campus, I am in the office H131. That's in the Fine Arts building. I know the H, it's a little confusing. My office hours are, these aren't exact office hours. I have from about 8 to 9 or 9:30 on Tuesday, Thursdays, and then from 1:30 to 3:30, and also by appointment. If you ever need me, if these aren't good times, I'm happy to reach out to you whenever you do. We can do Zoom, we could do email, we could do it in the office, whatever works for you. This is your textbook. Now, it's a little confusing. You get to see a cute little picture. The bookstore didn't know this was part of our class till this morning, so if you haven't gotten your textbook yet, I completely understand. It's okay. But that textbook is now in the bookstore. If you go there, give them your student ID, they should be able to figure everything out. Now, because a lot of people weren't able to get the textbook till today, we might hold off on quizzes for a couple weeks. That way you have time to get the textbook. Now this is what I covered today. These are our course outcomes. This is basically what the goal of the class is, which is pretty much to figure out public speaking. We will be learning how to compose a speech, how to deliver one, how to outline one, about our messages, different things like that. Now, this is just a very brief overview. This is something you can look through on your syllabus. We will also be having 3 major speeches in class. There's the informative speech, the story speech, and persuasive speech. Don't worry, I know those sound like a lot, but that's something we'll work on each week in the class. That way it's not overwhelming when they are due. There's also 3 minor speeches due: the introduction speech, the group presentation, which will be very interesting online, but don't worry, I'll be able to figure it out for you all. And then also the audience analysis. Now, because things change and sometimes something doesn't work quite right, I might change up the assignments, but that's something I will be sure to let you all know about. One thing in this class, which obviously isn't totally needed for online, is performance and behavior. Now, for this class, because you won't be able to see each other present the speeches live, we will share them in like a discussion forum so you can see. It is important to be respectful of those speeches. So when you're giving like feedback, you don't want to say anything, disrespectful or rude. You want to be very considerate of those that are presenting, because online presenting to a webcam like you are going to do for this class is very intimidating. It is challenging and it's a lot harder than it looks, which you will soon discover. Now for this class, you will need speaking attire. That just basically means don't come in your PJs and make sure you wear a shirt. I mean, I've had students in the past who came in PJs or tried to get extra credit by not wearing a shirt, and that is it's kind of awkward for me. Just make sure you're dressed where you are comfortable. I mean, you don't have to wear a suit and tie, but if that makes you feel confident, then all the more for you. Well, this isn't applicable for online, but basically you don't want to have your cell phone out. That works for when you're delivering a speech. You don't want to do it through your cell phone. That just doesn't work. And also for online, I do recommend you have a webcam for this class. That way you're able to do like me. You're able to step back from the video. That way you can kind of focus on the speech itself. Rather than having a cell phone, having that leaning on something, that can have a little trouble with putting those videos on Blackboard, but if that's your only option, let me know and we'll figure something out. Now this one, it's kind of silly to talk about, but basically you can't get caught cheating if you don't cheat. Now you're probably thinking, how do you cheat in speech class? Well, trust me, students have definitely tried. It is when I had a student, oh goodness, my favorite example is when we were doing informative speeches. And this student decided to give the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech because I wouldn't know what that speech is, right? And they tried to pass it off as their own. It's kind of funny because it's a very popular speech. So basically, don't cheat. I mean, I'll know if it seems a little off from your personality or something. So just don't do that. That saves us all time. Now this here is you'll introduce yourself in the discussion. I want to know about you this week. I want to know about your public speaking experience. Have you done it before, such as in high school? Have you done it at a job? Different things like that. This is about your discussion. And I'm really excited to get to know all of you, and I'll talk with you in that discussion as well. Now this is kind of a guide, your syllabus quiz. And I'll kind of jump out of here so that you can kind of see where to find all of this. So here, right now I'm using this called Screencast-O-Matic. I will show this resource to you later if this is something you are interested in using for your speeches. It's a pretty cool little tool if you have PowerPoint and things like that. Well, this is the home page of your class. Now, see what I did there? This is my big question so far today from students is, hey, I don't see anything on the left-hand side. There's something wrong with my class. Blackboard's being weird. Well, if you go to this cute little arrow right here, it'll pop it right back out for you. That's in case, you know, if you're on a cell phone, it'll do that so you can see everything and you can do it back and forth. And it's kind of a silly little thing, but if you're not seeing everything, look for that cute arrow. Now, right now we are on the home page, which is where everything will go for you. But you also have a few other items here you can look through. Now, I labeled them to try and make it, make sense. But if you go over here and you click on syllabus, it'll give you that, and it should pop up on a cute little tab. Keep saying that word, but that's interesting for today. Well, this gives you an idea, like how to find me, our textbook that you're needing, such as the ISBN, the easiest way to find things, and then the little things that I talked about just now. So after you've looked at the syllabus or you've listened to this video, for some reason Blackboard was being really weird, you're going to want to go to the Quizzes and Exams tab. So come over here and you'll click on it. And there you'll finally be able to see the syllabus quiz. It's pretty easy. I'm not going to take it because I'll have to grade myself. But once you start, it's basically saying, yes, I have read the syllabus. That's it. Quick little point right there and you'll get some credit toward the class. And that's all that I'm looking for. And then if you're looking for, each week you will have a discussion too. Every week that'll be something that will be in the class. There are 16 weeks in the class, so there'll be 16 discussions. I will do announcements to try to help you. So over here you'll be able to see announcements. This is just me telling you what's going on in the class. This is me sharing where you find stuff, things like that, where I'll share my weekly videos, things like, Also over here, if you click on Supplemental Material folder, in here you're going to see a variety of tools. For this class, you'll have a lot of different guides of how to upload your videos. There's different options, whatever is easiest. There's Blackboard if you're doing that right into Blackboard. Some students like to use Google Dropbox. There's uploading it into a discussion in the classroom or even YouTube if you've never used that. I'm going to go back here so you can see it. Then there's also your camera positioning, which, you don't want to be like selfie, which I've had students, it can be kind of awkward for everybody. There's some of my greatest tips, presentation, there's informative speech ideas, persuasive ideas, different things that you may need. And then, of course, if you go over here, this is the big one you're going to want to look for each week. This is called Weekly Modules and Resources. This will be the 16 weeks that you'll be doing. Now here I have the due dates for everything because I know it's kind of weird having an online class. And so here you'll be able to see when week 1 is due, when week 2 is due. That way you can kind of keep an eye on what's going on. So for week 1, this is what I kind of have for you so you can know what our focus is of the week, what you're going to be working on, which this week you'll be reading the glossophobia web link that I'm sharing so you can kind of learn about that fear of public speaking. You'll do an anxiety inventory. This is kind of something that we'll share in a discussion next week. We'll talk about, hey, what did you score? And then we'll compare it to week 16 and see how far we've come. And then, of course, this is the lecture video. There's a lecture video, what is public speaking? And then I'll add this video in case you're curious of how to find things. And the big one for this week is your discussion. You will do your discussion post. You'll do one of yourself answering the questions. Make it at least 150 words. That makes it a little bit more substantive. That way you're not going, yes, I did it. That way it's a little more and I can prove, hey, they did the work. And then in the discussion, you're going to want to do 2 replies. That can be 2 classmates. It can be 1 classmate, 1 to me. But it's going to want to be different people, not just the same person and replying back and forth. You're going to want to do 2 classmates or myself. And then, of course, so you'll have the discussion this week and the syllabus quiz. Now, if you have any questions about that, let me know. This is all due Tuesday, August 17th. And so you can see here, I'm still filling everything out because I just started. But then after August 17th, week 2 will start, and it'll be a week for each of the things. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you, and welcome to class.